So I was talking about manipulation, and I was thinking about a neighbor of mine, and she brought to awareness something that I think was important for me to be aware of, and that was that I realized that, well, I'll start even farther back. I met this girl who flirted with me and activated me, and I was at a place in my life where, and that's fine, but she would activate me and then she would retreat and say and behave in such a way as to put up a boundary. So she would lure me in, draw me in, activate me, and obviously feel wonderful about this, and then throw me off. And I told her, I said, I'm on your hook and release program, meaning with fishing. You know, you hook me by activating me and flirting with me. And then once I'm activated and you get the pleasure from that, there comes a point where I'm activated and I move toward you, and then you throw me off like trash. We're still friends. This is the kind of guy I am. I can present awarenesses like this in such a way as to not threaten people and make them feel less than. I can present it. What I like to say is I put myself on the altar and sacrifice myself. And in that way, the other person doesn't feel as threatened by me. And then I started using this analogy of the fisherwoman. And I realized that this is very typical what women do. Women ask things for a certain purpose, to get a readout, to measure the man up. And there was another girl. Before I came to the realization about this girl's hook and release program, there was another girl who was very, very interested. She was married, very smart, happy person. But she was really, really interested in my sexual orientation. This reminds me of one of my daughters telling me how sad she thinks it is that I live alone and I don't have a girlfriend. And overall, I came to understand that ladies often do this hook and release program. They entice a guy into being activated, and then they observe. What can I do with this? Where is this guy coming from? Does he measure up? What can I get out of this? What can he produce for me to consume? This whole line of thought went into the productive and the consumptive, and a very gross generalization of the masculine being the producer and the feminine being the consumer. And this production consumption aspect I felt was really productive. A productive line of thought. However, being that I'm a male and I have made this valuation of being a producer, and women being a consumer, they are there to consume the male's energies. I think I first read about Shakti being in Joseph Campbell's work, woman being in possession, as far as I think it's Hindu philosophy, Indian philosophy anyway, generally Indian philosophy, where woman is in possession of the Shakti, which is the activating force in the male, of the male. So the male is activated by her Shakti, which she is in possession of. And by activating the male, he can go out and get what he needs to get to bring it back to her. And I was thinking about how awesome a power that must feel like, to be able to activate another person, to bring produce to you, to consume. And then I came to realize that a great many men are consumed or possessed by the feminine. In their productivity, they think they're males. They feel so masculine because they're activated by the female, and they go out and they do things and get things done, but actually they're possessed by the feminine. And I came to understand that with ladies there was always a certain point where they realized that they couldn't manipulate me the way they wanted. And it's not that they couldn't manipulate me, it's that there was a price to be paid. I came to this term of established systems of monetary exchange. The woman is attuned to established systems of monetary exchange. And then I heard some neurologist talk about how the man's sexual center is activated towards sex and sexual pleasure, whereas the same center in the female's brain, is activated by shopping and sales, especially getting a good deal. And I find it interesting that, from the darkness emerge these ideas and perspectives, and then out of the world come supporting ideas. Anyway, I think some women get too accustomed to just activating the male and don't exchange something in return. But for the male, being a producer, not a consumer, what the woman feels is of worth and value is not what the man feels is of worth and value. And there's this flip-flop, this shifting back and forth of opposites that reflect each other. And if you look at words in a mirror, they're flipped around backwards. The letters are turned around backwards. So a male that may seem very masculine and highly activated is actually, on the flip side, consumed and possessed by the feminine. And that is very, very affirming to the female. However, the man can be drained, consumed completely. So my neighbor the other day, when she moved in, she had a big problem with me.